Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone, from wherever you're joining us. So, on behalf of Smart Edge and Data for Profit team, I warmly welcome you to today's farmer seminar, Data for Profit. And thank you all to all our farmers, our agribusiness owners, partners, and guests for taking time to join us. So, I'm seeing, firstly, I'll be actually I'll be acknowledging the people we have on here. So first off, I'll be acknowledging Smart Edge himself. I see Smart Edge, which is going to be our main speaker, and it's going to carry us along today. Then I see in no particular order, so I'll actually be acknowledging everybody. Mr. Edo, nice to have you on here. Mr. Edo, are
Thank
you
you
there?
very much. Thank you very much. Can you give me a minute to speak? Thank you very much.
Of
I,
course, of course.
I am very excited to be on this platform, and I want to thank you guys for the great work you're doing. I am a value chain expert. I have about, for now, directly about 20 people working under me. We have a value chain school, and this is more of what we want to see so that they can learn. We got the link late, so about 3 of them have joined. But I can assure you that in subsequent meetings, everyone will compulsorily have to be part of this. So I think what I can say for now, kudos, keep on the good job, and we will provide the kind of support we can in the best possible way. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Edo, for that. And thank you for participating in today's meeting. And your contribution is also very, very much appreciated. And okay, before I actually proceed with other people, let me quickly do like a brief of the session context and what's going to be happening today. So today's seminar is actually designed to be practical, simple, and actually actionable. So we'll be discussing how data can actually guide better farming discussions and all of that. And Mr. Ola is going to actually put us through what we're actually going to do. Okay, so then before we actually proceed, I'll actually be giving a few guidelines and all of that. So the house rules and actual engagements will be like you should actually remain please remain silent during presentations, like when speakers do come on board and starts to talk. Of course, you'll be allowed to ask questions and whenever whenever the presentation is over. And so you actually feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go. So if you actually want to ask any question during presentation, you can actually drop your questions in the chat. So then there's also going to be like a dedicated question and answer session after the whole presentation. And just so you know, and if you do not, this session is actually recorded for learning purposes. Just to put that out there for you to know. So special acknowledgements, I'll have to go through that again. So we acknowledge our farmers who are actually here to learn and our partners and organizers who have actually made this session possible. And most importantly, our speakers. Today we'll be having like three main speakers. We'll be having three main speakers actually. And firstly, our first speaker is going to be Mr. Ola or Mr. David. You can actually see him as the Smart Edge. He's actually behind the Smart Edge logo that you're actually seeing. And he has like great experience in the data field, and he has experience in agriculture and data business technology. And Mr. Ola will be speaking on the brief, and it's going to literally be like the bone, is the backbone on all of that. So you please join me to welcome Mr. Ola on the ground. So, Mr. Ola, please, I would like you to actually take on the mic, please.
All right. Yeah. Good evening, everyone, from wherever you're joining from. And Thank you for joining us. Thank you for seeing the invitation and counting us worthy, or this event worthy of attendance. So yes, thank you so much, and we look forward to doing a lot of things together. Because I can tell you briefly is that there is so much that we are cooking, and we're trusting God that you also are going to be a part of a lot of things that we are going to be doing, because this is actually the very beginning of what we are willing to do. And it's not just going to be limited to agriculture like we're doing today. It's going to extend and cover a lot of area. And what it means is, if a business person, really, this is where you really want to be. This is the team you really want to partner with, because it's going to be a great time, right? So I just want to welcome us and say welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. And we are hoping to have a great time together. Thank you.
Okay, that's Mr. Ola you guys just heard from. And Mr. Ola is the literally the bone and contention of all of this. And shout out to him. Kudos to you, Mr. Ola. Thank you very much for that. And without taking much of your time, we would actually be proceeding to get on. I think Mr. Edo said something about other people wanting to join the the meeting as well, the seminar as well. But the actual time is 5, so I actually hope most of the people you want to are on board already. So we'll actually be proceeding, and while at that, I'll actually be welcoming the next person in line, which is going to be Mr. Roberts. And what Mr. Roberts will do is he's going to be talking about the importance of data analysis as when it comes to agriculture and technology and businesses in general. So Mr. Robert has years has been is a very experienced data person, and he has been in line with this for years. So Mr. Roberts, please welcome on board, and we appreciate your presence here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aruna, for this invitation. As you have heard, my name is Robert Masila. I'm a data and business analyst, and currently I'm working with Smart Edge Consulting and Analytics as a data analyst and also a partner. I'm joining you from Kenya. Already it's 7:08 here. So I'm happy to join other brothers of mine from the other end where the sun has not yet set. I believe so. So welcome so much for this opportunity to learn about how we can use our data to data from agricultural fields to make decisions and also to have an informed insight. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can go together. So allow me to share my screen. And if you can see my screen, kindly give me a thumb up so that I can know we are together. Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So actually, we want to look at the importance of agriculture records for data analysis and decision making. Whenever a farmer goes to the field, mainly, other than growing food for the household, he is also aiming, or she is also aiming for profit. For those who are doing economic agriculture, their main focus is on profit. And when it comes to profit, then you don't just do farming, you do it smartly. And that's why today we want to look at the importance of keeping records and how those records will help us to make decisions. And therefore, let's move on. Let's move on so that you can see how. So in our table of content, these are the few areas that we'll be looking at. The benefits of financial records, risk and disease management, how the records will help you in risk and disease management, how the records will help you to access credit and partnerships, how the records or the information will help you to in terms of production, the benefits of production, how you are producing. It will also help you in planning and forecasting. Next year, here in Kenya, especially where I am, we have finished our season. We only have one main season. And therefore, the other day, I was shelling my maize, and I got several bags, and now I'm planning for next year. And from what I have gathered, the few bags that I have, and the size of the farm that I farmed, I can now see whether I met my expectation or I failed. And therefore, I have to plan. And it is from that record that will help me to plan and forecast for next year. We will also look at how we capture agricultural records. And finally, we will look at how to do an analysis and how that analysis will be useful. And therefore, let's look at financial benefits. Now, there are several financial benefits that you'll get when you keep good records. Good records. Just a minute, I want you to see. Yes. So, one way that you will benefit from keeping records is expense tracking. You'll be able to know how much you spend on the inputs, say seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, labor, feed, transport, cost of maybe your that animal, that livestock. Maybe you bought a livestock, you are starting a business, a pig business, pig rearing business, and you bought some piglets. And how much did you spend on those livestock? You bought a cattle, you bought maybe a flock of chicken. Two, it will help you to identify issues. Records reveals where money is leaking. When you keep a proper record, you know when you are losing money, whether it's overpaying the laborer, maybe you are spending too much on feeds, or you're spending too much on chemicals, etc. You'll also be able to identify which enterprise makes more money, which venture is reaping profits or is giving you high revenue, for example. Maybe you have an idea of doing a dairy farm, and you are also a farmer. You're also doing maize farming. And you realize that dairy farming is not, according to your records, dairy farming is not bringing in revenue as compared to maize farming. Then your records have helped you to realize that. And therefore, it is important to keep records. Production benefits, the yields, the output. Production records show what is happening on the farm at every stage. At every stage. For example, yield comparison. This one will help you, will help any farmer to compare yields of different seasons. Like I told you, here where I stay, we only have one season. And therefore, from records, I can compare this year's yields with last year's yields and realize what has happened. Am I moving forward? Am I moving backward? Then we also have performance evaluation. They show which variety or breed perform best. Yeah, because we have varieties. In our area, for instance, we have a variety of maize. And this variety of maize seeds, there's a year I planted a different variety. I thought I am the clever. Who to me, when the harvesting time came, I almost got half of the bags that I usually get every other year. And now I had to go back. I had to revert to the other variety, the one that I have been using year after year. So this one will show you the variety which performs best according to you. I'm also a chicken rearer, and there was a time I did a certain breed called rainbow kienyeji. Here we talk about kienyeji, like it's an improved local chicken, and that breed was actually very good. According to me, it was very good. The cockerel were heavy. The hen also gave me quite a good amount of eggs. And you see, those improved locals, they lay. They don't sit on eggs. They keep laying. They are like layers. But those eggs can also be given to those local chicken to sit on them, and they will hatch. Unlike the breed that we call layers, the layers don't hatch. And therefore, you can use it to compare varieties. And also records will help you to see how much and how you use some of these inputs, fertilizer. You can also record how the weather pattern was. When you received the first rains, for how long, and thereafter also you can also look at feed changes, how it affects the livestock that you have. For example, if you're doing dairy, when you change a feed, what happens? And therefore you can note down, and you can know which feed is best for what. Production records help farmers understand what works and how to improve the yields. Now let's look at risk and disease management as far as record keeping is concerned. So we have issues of detecting when there is a sudden problem, a sudden disease, or an issue arising. For example, a dairy farmer will know when there is if he keeps a good records, or if she keeps good record, they will know when there is a sudden drop in milk production. And in fact, if you keep records of each and every cow, you are likely to realize which particular cow has that sudden drop. Previously, it was giving you 10 liters, for instance. And then all of a sudden, you realize 7, 6, and then it maintains at 6, 7, 6, 7. Then for 2 days, you are likely to realize there is a sudden problem. You can also know when, say, a certain feeding has changed the way that livestock is behaving or is producing, or like behaving, because sometimes the feeding can come with some changes in its health. Maybe it starts to diarrhea, maybe it starts to wither, to lose weight, etc. Records can also help us to know the animal health. We can also keep records on animal health and track the treatment, especially the poultry. Those who are in the poultry farming, vaccinations. Those vaccinations, if you know when, if you keep a clear record, you will know when to vaccinate next. What vaccination did you give at this particular age? For example, 1 to 1 week, there's a vaccination for that particular period. After 2 weeks, there's a vaccination for that. And therefore, you are likely to know which area you did not do well. Maybe you delayed in a vaccination, and thereafter, when the chicks are almost, they are old enough and they start to have complication, you can now trace back and you know, I delayed in vaccinating for Newcastle, maybe. I did not give the vaccination for Gumboro, for example, and therefore you can now know where the problem arose. Record support insurance claims. For if you are doing it for economic purpose, we are advised by insurance organizations or firms to insure our products, to insure our livestock, to insure our fields. You are doing a greenhouse. Now you are advised to insure, and then you, with that record, in case of anything, you can claim. You can go and claim, I did everything that is required. What happened here? Therefore, in short, good records help farmers prevent big losses and respond quickly to risk. Planning and forecasting. When you have good records, by the way, you can plan effectively. This year, from my records, I used 10 bags of fertilizer DAP, diammonium phosphate, and then I used 12 bags of top dressing, the calcium ammonium nitrates. Now next year, I don't have now to start asking how many bags I should use and the etc. I'll go back to my records. What did I use last year, and how much acreage did I plow? And therefore this year I'm doing 5 acres. So how much fertilizer do I need? And you do the calculation because you have the records with you. And also you can forecast. This year I did not get the exact yield that I was, the target. I did not hit the target because according to the way I usually farm, or the way we are usually advised by the agricultural extension officers, I failed by this mark. I did not, the extension officer told me to use 10 bags. But due to some challenges, economical challenges, financial challenges, I managed to do 8 bags. And therefore, that is why I did not hit the yield of 20 bags per acre, for instance, just but an example. And therefore, what if I try this year? Let me do 10 or 12 bags and see whether I will hit that target. And therefore, it can help you to plan and forecast. It can also help you to budget. By the start of your season, by the start of that business, before you sit down to do that business, you can have a clear budget. I need this for the chicks. I need this much for the feeding. I need this much for the energy, for the brooding energy. I need this much for vaccinations. I need this much. You can budget. But when to a person who does not have that record, he does kind of a guesswork. Oh, I need to buy the feeding. Oh, now that is the time he's looking for the money for the feeds, etc. You can also estimate. It can help you to estimate. By forecasting, you can estimate. This is what I expect if I do it this way. So basically, records make it easier to plan for the future with confidence. Now, and before I go to that, I want to add another one here. You can become a consultant. You can become a consultant. Other farmers can consult from you how you are doing your things. And since you have the record, you'll give them a correct information. You will not just be talking. You'll not just be sharing information from nowhere. You have records. You have evidence. Look at my record. This is what I did. This is what I got. And therefore, you can become a consultant at the same time. Farmer to farmer, that way, by the way. Now, records are very, very, very vital when it comes to access to credit and partnership, and mostly credit. When you visit your financial institutions, say Farmers Circle, the first thing they want to see is how many acres do you have? How many dairy cattle do you have? How many number of layers hen do you have? They want the records. How many times have you been doing that? For how long? Yes, you have told, we have listened to your story, and it's a very good story. It's a very good proposal. But you have told us you have been doing dairy farming. For how long? Can we see your records? Let us see how you manage your funds. So by so doing, record keeping will help you to access credit. You'll get the trust of those financial institutions. You want to partner with someone. You want to partner with an organization. An organization has come, maybe an NGO or a cooperative, has come down to meet with the farmers. And now you are about to strike a deal that we are going to partner with you. But they want to see the records so that they can buy your trust. And therefore, with proper records, you are likely to win the contract. You are likely to win their trust. Therefore, record represents the farmer's credibility and open doors for growth. Now, we have talked about the benefits of records. Now, what about how do we capture records? Because I know someone is asking himself or herself, now, how am I going to capture these records? It's very simple. It's very simple. We have manual methods. This one, every other person can do it. This is where we use simple notebooks. You can buy an exercise book, a diary, or a notebook, just a notebook. And you have some columns. And since the diary already has some rows, you just create some columns. And now, according to your records, whatever you want to record, you'll have some headings on that particular page. For example, the number of flocks that you have. If you are doing egg production today, you cannot have egg production for every hen, because you have maybe 2,000 hen. So you cannot do that. What you can do is, what was the feeding rate today? How much kilograms of feeds were they given? How much liters of water were they given? How much eggs was collected that particular day? And how many hen died on that particular day? If you did a vaccination on that particular day, what was the dosage? What particular vaccination? And was it enough? If it happened that you sold some eggs, how much eggs did you sell in terms of crates or single eggs in particular? And then finally, any other comment? So every day, you will be recording that information every day. And therefore, in the end of the month, you can now come and look at your records. Even when it comes to sales, how much were you given? Maybe you sold 10 crates and you are given 10,000 shillings, 10,000 naira, whatever amount you record. Maybe your client or your customer bought on credit on that particular day. You record there, but I gave out 10 crates of eggs, but were on credit worth 10,000. So that when it comes to the time for claiming, you can claim confidently, on this particular day, I gave you this and you did not pay. or you did not pay on that particular day. It was accrued. It was like a loan, and therefore I am claiming for that. You can write an invoice claiming payment. That record will help you to manage your business, your poultry farming business, your layers business. If it is milk, the same. Which cow? How many liters? How was the feeding? How was the what? How did it take? How was issues of water? And then finally, the milk. How much? And when you sell that particular cow, maybe you want to trim population, and you tend to sell that particular several cattle. Now you can know how many cattle, how many cows did I sell, at how much each, and how much did I gain. And now from the records of those particular cattle, what was the expenses? How much did I spend on them from day one to current? Have I gotten profit or not? So that is how records can help you that is how you can capture your manual record. This one is very cheap and it requires no particular technology. It's just about a pen and a paper, a pen and a book. But a book here, I will advise a very good book, because it will keep a record for a long period of time. And therefore, if you write on a paper and it is not well filed, then you lose some information. Some papers may go missing. And then when you sit down to do your recording, your analysis, you realize there's some information that is lacking. All right. I believe we are moving together. Give me a thumb up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you. That shows me, that gives me the confidence that we are together. Now, we also have other manual methods like the wall chart and the whiteboards. These are visible large boards in the store, office, or milking parlor. This one we are likely to find them in Agricultural Development Corporation, where we have so many people who are and so many cattle and so many products, and it is recorded there on daily. When you come to milk, weigh, record how much, and go your way. Now the foreman and the clerk will come and collect the information from that whiteboard. This one is useful for quick daily entries like milk output per cow or egg counts. It helps everyone on the farm to see the daily targets and performance. Then we also have semi-digital methods. This one is where now digital comes in, a bit of technology, but very small. Now, this one you need some data storage system, like a small store where you can store large amount of data. Something like a laptop or a tablet or even a mobile phone. Now, this one, you may need those devices so that you can have this Excel spreadsheet, or what we call a spreadsheet. And then you can capture the information. They can capture the data on the system directly, not on a paper, but on the system directly. And now this information must be stored either on the system, or maybe if you are advanced, you can store it on the cloud, or in a drive, or in another storage device. This one automatically calculates the total averages and profit for you. And it might also draw some graphs, some small graphs about the trend, about the yields, about the output for you. Now, this one requires some training, and it teaches farmers basic data analysis skills. Then we have another way of doing it is when we use the SMSs and the USSD-based systems. This is where an SMS, after you record information, then it is sent via an SMS electronically into your storage, where your data is stored, or where maybe to your circle or to your bank or to your wherever you are storing your data. It works even without smartphones or internet. That's why we are saying it's an SMS, it's a semi-digital. And the data security, data is stored safely in the system. This one is good for rural areas with limited internet access. If a farmer here amongst us is staying in a very rural area, but they can access maybe a mobile phone or a device that can send an SMS, then this one works best for you. And then finally, we have the fully digital tool. Now, this fully digital tool is an app that uses, it's an app like a DigiFarm, or we have DigiFarm, we have Farm Tool, iCow, etc. This helps farmers to capture comprehensive data. When we input the data, it can calculate for you from whatever information we have given it. Now it can calculate the sales, the expenses, the animal treatment, the growth stages, weather alerts, and market prices. It's connected to the internet, and therefore it can even know where the market prices are fluctuating and where the market prices are going up. It can even send you alerts on how the weather is. If you're expecting rains in the next 2, 3, 4 days, it will alert you. It will inform you that we are expecting rain. So if you want to do dry planting, if you want to prepare your farm early in advance, you can do so with confidence because the system has informed you. Everything is stored and can be analyzed automatically in these fully digital tools. We have mobile data collection tools. Some of us, I believe, we may have used data collection tools such as Kobo Collect, ODK, Farmies, etc. Those in the social sciences fields, the community health volunteers, community health promoters, etc. We have been using Kobo Collect. Those in the NGOs, and you tend to collect information, collect data from the field. Maybe you have used ODK. Now these tools are used to collect data from farms, and they can also be used to collect information from farms. They collect standardized data and share it among team members. And then they are able to generate reports from the prompts that you will give it. If you want a report on sales, report on expenses, report on weather pattern, report on diseases and risks that were there during that season, then it can do so. And it can even help you to project. Then we have other digital tools such as sensors and IoT, Internet of what do you call that? Internet of tools. Hey, what do you call that?
Internet of things.
Yeah, advanced technologies. These are very advanced because they can even do soil moisture, CDT, weather station. They can also connect to weather stations, and they can give you the information from the weather forecast, what is happening, what's about to happen, when the rains, the humidity, the temperature, etc. And they can also do GPS mapping. So in your field, you can know where there is a lot of acidity, where there is a lot of alkalinity, where there is less moisture, where there is high moisture, etc. These tools automatically record data with no human error, and they are perfect for commercial farmers seeking precision agriculture. Therefore, that is how you can capture data from your field, your farm, or your farming venture, whichever farming venture you're doing. Now, let's look at a few data dimensions. Here we have a few. Whenever you are capturing data, ensure data accuracy. Capture the correct information. If you collect 100 eggs write there 100x. Don't find yourself writing 10x or 101 or something. If you get 10 bags, like the way I got 10 bags, I've written in my records 10 bags, not 10 and a half. If you have a half, then write 10 and a half bags, because that is record. That's about record. It must be very accurate. Completeness. Ensure that your data is complete. When recording a sale of milk, include quantity, price per liter, buyer, date, whether paid on cash or was given out on loan. That is completeness. Why it matters? Incomplete data paints an unclear picture. You don't know where that milk went. If you don't show that you sold it and you are given money and the money was this much, then if you don't capture everything, we may lose some information. And that is what we refer to incomplete data. We have consistency. Use the same units of measurement or format every time you are collecting data. If you are using kilograms, all along use kilograms. If you're using bags, use bags. If you're using tins, use tins. You are collecting eggs in crates, write crates. And that is what we call consistency, so that we don't mix up information. Someone collected eggs in crates today, tomorrow you collect eggs, you write, I collected 115 eggs. So when we are doing the analysis, we'll be unable to do now 115 eggs or 115 crates, because I can see the other days are crates. Does it mean this is also crates? Now, that challenge is what we want to avoid when we are consistent with our data. And then timelessness. Record information immediately or on the same day. We are prone to keep our records in our heads, and we say, when I get time, I'll write down what I observed, or whatever records you have. Then time passes and you forget, and by the time you'll remember to record, you have mixed up the information. It's no longer the clear information that you collected from the field, and now you write the wrong information. So, and also let the information be written alongside also time, date, so that in case of anything, one asks you, when was this done, or when did you collect, or when did you harvest? You can accurately give the time. This was done on this day. Delayed entries lead to forgotten details or wrong estimates. Fresh data is more reliable when you capture it on time. Then validity. Your record must be very valid. If you vaccinate for Newcastle, write vaccination for Newcastle. And in fact, I was taught when you are doing that vaccination, there's a yes. Okay.
So really,
All
comment citer avec lui.
right. Someone wants to speak. Someone? Oh, okay. So okay. It's okay. I thought someone wants to speak. All right. I was saying validity. In fact, when I was doing that vaccination, I was told even you remove the batch number from the bottle and stick it on your records, so that in case of anything, you can refer back. I vaccinated on this day when my chick were 14 days old. I vaccinated at 6 p.m. in the evening. The batch number for that dose was this and this and this. You can vaccinate. For example, chicks are very what do I call it? You can vaccinate
Fragile?
your chicks. Yes, kind of. You can vaccinate your chicks in the evening, and you wake up in the morning, all of them are sleeping. When you say sleeping, you know what it means. They are dead. And now you start claiming. Now someone will ask you, what did you vaccinate? When? How did you do it? Where is the batch number, so that we can refer whether that dose was still fresh or was expired. And therefore, when you do that, you have valid, concrete data that you can argue, even if it takes you to the court of law. You can stand on the dock and say, this is what I did, and I have all the records with me. So I want to be compensated, and it can take you through, and you are compensated maybe. So valid data. If you top dress, for example, with NPK 17-17-0, write it there, 17-17-0. Don't ignore. If you do DAP, right there, it was DAP 2 bags, and the DAP is 26, whatever. If you maybe you are giving feedings, that you have changed feeding, you are doing goat farming, and it comes to a time when you want to change feeds. When you change, right, I changed the feeds from this to this on this day. Valid data. Integrity. Data should be protected from unauthorized changes. Not everybody should go to the records and do the corrections and the changes as they wish. Especially when you're doing manual recording, let the file or the record be handled by one person who is mandated to do that work and is professionally trained to do it correctly. When you say professionally, he may not or she may not be learned that much, but you have trained them how to record the information. And whenever they record it, it's over. Don't go back and do the corrections unless otherwise you have come to a consensus that we need to correct that data, it was wrong. When you're doing digital, make sure you have passwords and also encryptions to ensure that not every other person can make changes. To ensure integrity of your data, trustworthiness of your data. Reliability, your data should be reliable. The method used to collect data should be dependable. A weighing scale should be working properly, and measuring tapes should be accurate. If you are selling, you are doing kilos, or you are doing length. If you are doing farming and you don't say, I want to farm from here to there. You must know how many acres, how many hectares. If you're doing a greenhouse, sorry, you must know the measurement of your greenhouse. If you're doing, you're selling produce from the farm, maybe sukuma, that is the kales, you're doing tomato, you're doing onion, how much in kgs? If you're doing, I know of a farm that sells cockerel, roosters, and the buyer, and one condition the buyer has given is that it must be 3 kilograms and above. So they usually come with a weighing machine, and also the farmer has a weighing machine. Whenever they come to collect the roosters, they must weigh. Those that are not 3 kilograms and above are left. Even if it is 2.8, they usually tell the farmer, we'll come for this one now. It will have matured by then, next week. They usually collect on weekly basis. So a reliability. Now, let's go to data analysis very quickly. We have simple analysis that you can do on your data. One of them is getting the summaries, the totals, maybe the cost, total income, total production, yields, in terms of yields, etc. This one will help you to evaluate the overall farm performance. Number 2 is simple analysis such as average milk per cow, per day, or per week, or per month. This one will help you to know how much is your production averagely, so that if you want to improve, you can know now where you are going to work on. We have simple analysis again, profits and analysis, where you want to look at how much have I gained. I collected a revenue of this much minus the expenses. These were the expenses because you have the records with you, and therefore you can get the profit. And this is the money that you can enjoy. You can now enjoy. You can have bread on your table and say, this comes from my hard work. But sometimes you don't do that. We take all the revenue, we take our kids out for a trip or for vacation, and then we come start again. But with good records, you can know which is the profit, which is the investment, capital investment, and the expected expenses when I'm doing this round once more. This one will help you to know the farm or the business viability. How viable is that business? If you do total revenue minus total expense and you get a negative value, that business is not viable unless if you did it correctly, then that business is not viable. But if you did it wrongly, then you can know where to correct from your records. Simple analysis, again, is about comparison. You can compare current season results from the previous season. This one will help identify improvement or declines. Intermediate analysis, enterprise comparison. You can compare several enterprises. Maybe you are doing this farming and the other farming. Maybe you are doing poultry farming, dairy farming, and now these are two different enterprises. These are two different ventures. You can check which one is bringing in more revenue, which one has high turnover rate, which one is am I getting higher profits, and then you can decide to go with one and drop the other, or whichever way. This one helps to decide where to invest more effort. Trend analysis. This one helps to understand how production changes over time. Like for example, milk trends can show peak seasons or low production period, and therefore you can know when you expect what and when to do what. Yeah, that trend. Intermediate analysis again is break-even analysis. This one will help you to calculate how much a farmer must produce to cover all costs. This one will help you to determine the pricing and production targets. That's simple. What you need to produce to be equal now to what you are going to spend. And then above that is now what you can refer to, you have broken even. Now, whatever is above that is like, now you are starting to gain. Cost benefit analysis. This one helps you to compare the cost of using a new input versus benefit gains, or the benefit gained. Now, if you go for improved seeds plus whatever fertilizer you are using versus the yield increase, so you compare the two. And that will give you a cost benefit analysis. If I am doing this, if I'm using a new variety, a new breed, and I use the same method I've been doing with the others. Maybe I was doing another farming last year. I use the same fertilizer, I use the same inputs, apart from the improved seed. And then I compare the yields. If I found that this yield is giving me more yields, or I'm getting a higher yield, then this is the way to go. But if like the one I gave you, my yield was half the previous year's yield. I did not go back again to buy that particular variety. I went back to my old variety. So that is cost benefit analysis. And then predictive model. This one, you use past data to predict future events. This is where you use records from the previous years, previous yields, to predict the future. So this one will, the yield prediction based on rainfall, fertilizer use, or breed, or variety. And now you can know if I continue with this kind of variety, or if I continue with this kind of breed, then I'm looking forward to a better yield. And therefore, next year I expect this much. And then another advanced analysis is forecasting, estimating market prices changes. With your records, especially marketing records, you are able to know when is the right time to make sales, to hit the market. So you will be able to withhold your produce until the right time, because you have the pattern with you. Last year, this is the period when the prices were high. Like in my place where I stay, we know the month of May is our best period to make sales of our maize, because nowhere else, there are no maize anywhere else. And the market the demand is very high. And that is when most of the people make sales. And that is due to good record keeping. Similarly, you can do the same. GIS and spatial analysis. This one, if you look at that portal there, this one can help you to map areas of fertility and areas of disease hotspots on your farm. And therefore, it will help you to manage farm more efficiently when you do so. And then you can also create dashboards. Dashboards are visual summaries of the farm performance. This one is like the charts that can be posted either on a digital device, or you can print them out and place them on what we call a talking wall, where you can now refer to those charts and see how the graph were, what composition of fertilizer, what was the composition of inputs to yields, etc. And therefore, this one makes complex data easy to understand. There are people who may, if you're doing referrals, or if you are talking, you are doing what we call consulting, they can see this year, this is what happened, this is what I got. You can see the composition of yields is higher, 80% from the inputs that were 20%, and etc. It is a visual representation of your data. So that is how you can use data, your farm data, to maximize your profit when you have good records. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Rona.
Thank you very, very much for that long and insightful session, Mr. Robert. Please keep your reaction coming. Please, everybody, keep your reaction coming, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert. That was very, very insightful. That was very, 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 very insightful. Thank you very much. And to actually summarize what Mr. Robert has just said, we have actually seen how records can actually turn farming from guesswork into business, basically. So it's not going to just be about guessing and all of that. I think the traditional way we do things is about you just do about a few guesses and all of that. So financial record keeping can actually help farmers to clearly see profits, losses, and weight. Then we have production records, which can actually tell us which works, which does not work, which fails, and why, and which yields actually change. Different record keeping. We have health record keeping. Actually, health and risk record can actually help farmers to actually detect problem earlier. Actually, so when you keep records of health and all of that of your certain crops and certain livestock and all of that, so you can actually use those records to actually detect problems earlier, even before they actually begin. So historical data actually you can actually use historical data for planning, for forecasting, like he said, that's in the advanced analysis, and for budgeting realistically. So a proper record keeping actually increases the farmer's credibility for loan, insurance, and partnerships. So if you have like a very good record keeping, of course you can actually present it. This as your portfolio as a farmer. So you're no longer like the traditional farmers, and you have like a portfolio. If you want to go for if you need partnership and all of that, if you have a good record keeping, it's easier for you to actually show it out and all of that. So, and keeping this record is very, very much simple. You can actually, it's as simple as keeping it in notebooks, Excel spreadsheet and all of that. I think all of that will actually be spoken more on, and more light would actually be shed on that. But most importantly, good data must actually be accurate, consistent, complete, timely, because poor data actually leads to poor decisions. So if you keep bad records, then you obviously are going to get bad results. So the attribute, and one very good thing is that you have to actually keep very, very consistent, accurate, and complete data. And finally, data is only powerful when analyzed. That's the thing. When you actually keep all this data, it's not going to actually do anything. I mean, you can actually keep your data, but when you actually analyze it, even at basic level, for just total averages, comparisons, and profit analysis, this would actually, help on the long run. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert. That was very, very much insightful. So now we'll be moving on to Mr. Emmanuel, which is going to actually take us deeper into today's session and actually going to tell us more and more things that we have in store for you guys. So welcome on board, Mr. Emmanuel. Please, Mr. Emmanuel, welcome on board. He's a data scientist and he has years in experience in this. Welcome on board, Mr. Emmanuel. Please come on board.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please, can I get some reaction if you're hearing me? Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon. You're welcome.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
It's a great privilege to be here today, and also to be able to speak to farmers and speak to everyone here about the importance of data and how serious we should take it. And if you can see my screen, can I get some reaction? Okay. So my name is Emmanuel Olukunle. Can you see my slides, everyone?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So my name is Emmanuel Olukunle, and I'm a data scientist and an agricultural AI ethicist. And for the past few years, I've been focused on data and how data can be applied to solve a lot of agricultural problems, most especially in Africa and in Nigeria at most. So that got me to meeting with Smart Edge and working with them. And for the past few months, we've been working on a lot of things for farmers and also working on a lot of things to enlighten farmers, because it was discovered from our research that a lot of Nigerian farmers and a lot of African farmers, why they don't make profits, why they don't solve problems, why they bump into issues day by day, is because we're not doing one thing. We're not keeping data. We're actually doing business blindly. And that is leading to a lot of errors, a lot of errors. Firstly, let me define what data is, so we all have a picture and a complete view of data. We all know that data is information. We know that, everybody know that, okay, when we say data, we say information. But let me tell you, data is any record, like anything you can understand, or data is anything that makes you understand what is happening and also makes you make better and smarter decisions. And I will tell you that since the time data come to being, or since the time people or businesses or corporation, since the time they recognize the power of data, they never let data go. They make sure everything they do, every step they take in their business, data is there, data is making the decision. So in our life today and in our economy today and in our cycle today, or the revolution we live, we should know that data is important. And if you want to strive as a farmer, if you want to survive as a farmer, if you want to make triple profits You might think you're making profits, but you're not making profits. If you're keeping good records, you're keeping good data, you will know a lot of loopholes, and you will see that you can be making times 3 of what you're calling profits just because you're keeping the right data. So okay, well, let me start with, okay, why farm data matters. Why farm data? Farm data like is very important because it gives us clear understanding of profit and loss. Our farms are always big. Our farms are big. And as women, even though our brains are large, we cannot keep record of every single thing going on. We can never know the little thing that you're not even seeing is actually making an impact. So you can never know what is going on until you're actually keeping data. Why farm data is important again, early detection of disease and performance problem. It is very known that one problem one problem farmers face is disease. Disease. Most time you plant and you're not expecting one disease come, and once the disease starts one crop, it goes down to other crops. Why farm data matters again, strong access to loan, grant, and partnership. Loan, grant, and partnership. Many of us, many farmers, they're not progressing today because they don't have data. You have a big farmland, maybe an hectare, and you don't have money to sponsor the land, you don't have money to till, you don't have money to do a lot of things, and you're wondering, okay, let me go to my friend and take a loan. And you're wondering, your friend is not giving you a loan. You're going to cooperative, they're not giving you loan. Every other places, they're not giving you loan. Why? Because they don't know what you're actually really doing. They don't know if you're really doing even that farm that you're claiming to do. They don't know. But if you have records of your farm, if you have a lot of records of your farm, you can use the records of your farm to apply for loan. Just maybe having records of your plots, record of your harvest dates, records of your planting dates, records of your past heats, record of everything. Just having those records, you can take it to cooperative, you can take it to the bank, and you will leverage on that to take a loan. Even in times of partnership, even in times of grants, when people see what you are doing, they can give you grants because they see the data. Data and numbers that are real. They see them, they see the dates. And if you are truthful to that, you actually get funding. They have better seasonal planning and resource allocation. When you have good data, you can allocate resources to all the channels that you think you're allocating resources to before. When you have good data, you can know the loopholes in your farms. If it's livestock, if it's crop, anything, you will know the loopholes because a data will point to this, a data will point to that. And when you have data, companies like Smart Edge, like we can help you do all these things. We can help you do all these things. We can help you find those loopholes. We can help you find the diseases affecting your plant. We can help you know why you're not getting the proper heed. That's what we do. So if you keep data, we can actually help you if you keep data of the farm. So the question, data answer the question, is my farm really profitable or am I just working hard? Data answers that question. Is my farm truly profitable? Sometimes we think that our farms are profitable, but they're not profitable, honestly. They're not profitable. If you don't have data, honestly, if you don't have a data in your farm, if you don't have data of your farm, to me, you're not making profits. To me, you're not making profits because you're not seeing what is going on. You just think you're seeing what is going on, but you're not seeing what is going on. So keeping data answers a lot of questions. Mostly when it comes to profits, we do all these things for profits. If we're not farming for the family, we're farming to make gain. So the major question about profits, data one side, if maybe last year you make 1 million, today you're making, this year you're making maybe 800,000. With data, you can identify what went wrong that you lose 200,000. And with data, you can also identify the changes or the improvements you can make to even make maybe 2 million the following year or 3 million the following year. And I'm telling you for real, I'm not joking, that's the fact. So the reality today, most farmers rely on memory or instinct, and that's very bad. That is very bad. You cannot tell me you have 1 hectare of land, even though it's not up to 1 hectare, you are relying on your memory to control it. No, no, you should not be doing that, because you actually be wasting resources. You'll be wasting a lot and a lot of things when you can just simply have good data. You can just simply have good management or good record management. We had, okay, farmers mostly rely on memory or instinct. This leads to overfeeding, over-fertilizing, underwatering, preventable death or crop failure, selling harvest at the wrong time. Very important. If you keep historical data of your purchase history, of your sales history, it will help you prevent selling harvest at the wrong time. It will help you prevent it, because you will know the best time to sell. You'll not even be waiting for news. You'll not be waiting to ask people then when is the best time to sell. No, your record will tell you, your data will tell you that, okay, wait, this is the best time to sell. And even adding other advanced technique, you can also know, okay, will it happen so time, or will it not happen so time? Also, wastage that quietly reduce profits. A lot of ways reduce profits. A lot and a lot of ways reduce profits. And we have data remove this blindfold and help farmers see exactly what is happening. Data removes a lot of blindfold. It makes you see everything going on in your farm. You can just be in your seats, in your house, and you're looking at your phone. You know everything going on. Even though you have 200 hectares of land, you have animals, you have livestock. If you are keeping proper data in your farm, you will know everything happening. Nobody can cheat you. Nobody can lie to you. Nobody can fake anything. You can prepare for danger. You can prepare for storms. You can prepare for a lot of things. So data is very important in the agricultural sector. And I'm one of the person that want to really move or fight for that change. As farmers, we have to look beyond the traditional ways. We have to go more advanced. People are using these techniques. People are doing things differently, and they're making millions of dollars yearly. They're making millions and billions of dollars yearly, and they're solving a lot of problems. Imagine in Nigeria, if we actually truly keep data, imagine how far we will go. How far we will go in the farming sector if we are really farming. For me, data is not there to like remove farmers. Data is not there, no, but data is there to empower farmers. Data is there to work with farmers as your close friend. Data is there for you. So what data should farmers record? We have seed variety, fertilizer, chemical, feed qualities, labor cost. These data farmers should record. If you're on this call, you don't have to worry. We can actually help you with the data you should record. If you tell us what you do, if you tell us the farm you keep, we can tell you, okay, this is the data you should record. We can tell you that this is the data you need. This is the data that you need. Because now you might be running fishery, you might be running poultry, you might be running maybe livestock, you might be running maybe corn or cassava. We'll tell you, okay, this is the right data you should keep to actually help you get insights, to actually help you get profits. But I'll just still list this. We have farm management record, planting dates, irrigation schedule, weather, rainfall pattern, growth stage, treatments. We have output, harvest production, harvest quantities, weight gain for livestock, price sold, total revenue. These are the data you should keep. Loss health record, mortality, disease outbreak, cause of loss. If your animal died, you should be able to keep data to know why this animal actually died, what killed it, which particular disease actually killed this animal. Once you're able to identify that disease, you have it in record. Another day, when you fight that disease, another day, if an animal again die, you will know that, okay, this is the same disease affecting it. This is how I can like treat it. Okay, what can I do to actually solve the problem of my animals not dying from this? Data will help you. Keep records. All these small records result in big wins. The most little record you can keep results in big wins. Big wins that you will not know. Big wins. And I'm telling you that for real, a lot of people are keeping records of their farm. And honestly, they are saying thank you, honestly, because a lot of things are changing. A lot of things. And many farmers in Nigeria, many farmers in Africa, we don't keep records. And records are important. Tools to keep farm records. And I will just tell you, one of the tools I would recommend is For now, if you're not good with computer, you can be writing your thing down. And if you feel that, okay, writing it down is overly stressful, you can use voice notes. Every phone today have voice record. You can go to your phone, voice record, like, okay, record the activities that happened today. Today I brought corn maybe today I brought a kg of corn for 1,000. Today I brought a kg of dawa for 1,000. You can record all those things. Today I maybe irrigated my farm with about maybe 10,000 liters of water. You can keep all those things, keep all those records. You can use voice notes. It's very simple. Just go to your phone, you record it. When you record it, later when you have chance, you cannot play the record and be recording what you recorded on your phone. That is one of the most simple ways to actually do it now. But we as a company, we're working on building AI systems that will soon be able to, like, you can just speak to your phone and those systems will be able to like write out whatever you're saying and like keep those records for you. But before that can be executed, as a farmer, you first have to know the importance of keeping record, and you first have to even commit yourself to keeping that record first. So you can use your voice note, then later transfer it to your notebook. If you're partnering with us, we can definitely transfer those data for you to maybe a Google sheet or an Excel sheet, and we can analyze for you and like tell you a lot of loopholes and other things that is going wrong. So this is it. Then we have farm management apps. There are different farm management apps that you can look up. We have Smart Farm, AgroTrack, Livestock. So you can look them up, or you can text us for more advice. Then as a data scientist, I told you I'm a data scientist. As a data scientist, what do I use your data for? So briefly, I will tell you what a data scientist is. A data scientist is someone who uses numbers, records, and information to find answers, to solve problems, and to help people make better decisions. So a data scientist is a very, very big career. It's a very big career, and we play a data scientist, a data analyst, a data engineer. We play major roles in helping farmers today. We play major roles because when you have these records, sometimes these records might be like 1,000 rows, maybe 10,000 rows, 1 million rows. So you might not be able to get answers just using womanly calculation and all. But we were there to use advanced equipment. We're there to use advanced softwares to get answers for you, to predict for you, to make smart decisions for you. That's what we're there for. So we use numbers, this data you keep, this data we're asking you to record. We use this data actually to help you make smarter decisions, to help you build a bigger brand, to help you feed the community better, and to help you even increase profits. Like the whole essence for you doing that is profit. To help you increase profits, to help you reduce debt of livestock in your farm and all. To just help you make a lot and a lot of decisions and help you with a lot and a lot of things. That's what we're here for. We combine past harvest amounts, planting dates, rainfall, inputs to estimate how much you harvest season. We combine all those data. So we'll help you know when to plant, we'll help you know when not to plant. Simple methods, average, list 3 years. So I'll go and like list some things for you. So we have different examples. For most of us that are cool with the maths, you can see some examples here. Example 1, your last 3 harvests from plot A was 1,000 kg, then 1,001 kg, 900 kg. Step 1, add them. So this is just like a mass helping you to calculate plots and their gains and all. So we have one thing again we use data for is predict disease risks, early warning. When we get data on diseases that have affected your animals, we have algorithms as data scientists that are already trained on different farm or different leaf diseases like like corn, like potato, like maize. We have algorithms that are able to look at your plants and identify a lot of patterns from there. So with those things, we can help you, we can help you, we can warn you on diseases that are coming. We can warn you or help you make smart decisions as to avoiding disease in your plants. And these things are very real. They are very, very real. So we look for pattern that come before diseases, e.g., drop in feed intake, slower weight gain, or sudden change in mortality. These are like these are like variables we use to make prediction, or variables we use to warn you early. Data science is a very big field, which a lot of people, we might not go in detail for you to understand how we compute these things. But what we can just tell you as a complaint is keeping data is very important. And make sure, the last speaker, Mr. Rubo, spoke about integrity, spoke about consistency, spoke about timelessness and all. So like when you're keeping those data, you have to keep them the right way. You have to make sure that there is data integrity there, making sure that you don't keep false records and all. You have to make sure that you are doing that. If you can actually give us reliable data, we can give back to you reliable decisions. We can give back to you real decisions that you can make that will change the order of your farm, change the order of your business. So the whole point here is you might not understand the inner working of how we do this, but I tell you for free that there is no scheme, there is nothing. These are all calculation. These are all maths, which is done when you have the proper data, when you have the proper records. These maths will all come by and work. So we have, this is an example again. I might not be able to go through all the examples. We have dictate waste and inefficiency. What we do, compare input fertilizer feed to output kg harvested. This is like a scenario of how we dictate waste and inefficiency in your farm. How it helps reduce costs by removing practices that do not increase production. So this is the calculation. Farmer spends 200,000 on feed and got 1,000 kg fish. Cost per kg. To get the cost per kg, 200,000 divide 1,000, that's 200 per 1 kg. After changing feed schedule, that same farmer spent 164,000 for the same output cost per kg, equal 164 naira. This in total, the farmer was able to save 18% from his money by actually calculating or doing things the right way or changing schedule. So we have identified best performing inputs. With data, you can identify the best performing fertilizer. Like Mr. Ru said, he said one time he had to change his fertilizer because he discovered the fertilizer he used of recent did not give him enough harvest. And he was able to identify that because he kept data of the two fertilizers he used. So with data, you can be able to know that, oh, this fertilizer is not working. Oh, this feed is not working. Okay, maybe I gave my beds, maybe 50 or 100 beds. I gave them about maybe 10 kg of feed in a week. And maybe that feed was maybe, I don't know if most of you know Chikum is a feed name. Then we also have animal care, and we also have another one too. So maybe you use Chikum and the weight gain your birds were having, maybe 1 kg weight gain for a week, and now you're switching to Optima. You're giving them that same 10 kg per week, and you're not getting maybe 2 kg per bed a week. That will tell you that, okay, Optima is the best feed for me to use. With data, you're able to track this thing. So data helps you track spending, tracks a lot of things, know how you're spending your money, know how many birds are dying, know what diseases are affecting your crops, know what diseases are affecting your birds, know a lot. Nowhere, data has no limits. It has no limits because it's both numerical and categorical. So you can compute them in both ways. So you can compute them with words, you can compute them with numbers. So there is no limits to data. This is an example using maize. So we have the set time. We have set the right selling price and timing. Data can help you use past sales price and harvest timing to recommend the best week to sell for high revenue. We can use your data. If you keep these variables, we can use them to tell you when to sell and when not to sell. Trust me, like you might think that is it possible? It's very possible. If you keep accurate and reliable data, we can do this for you. We can do this for you. So that's why as a company, it's a service we offer. Just keep data, just come to us, consult with us, and we'll tell you this is what you should keep, this is what you should keep. And trust me, if you keep it, we will solve a lot of problems in your farm, we will increase a lot of profits for you, and it will be a gain for everybody. It will be a gain because trust me, there are a lot of solutions we're trying to work on in Nigeria, a lot of AI solutions we're trying to work on, but because we don't have sufficient data, we cannot solve those problems. But if today 3, 4 farmers are rising, 5 farmers are rising to say, we'll be keeping records of our farm, to say, no, don't worry, we'll be keeping records, no matter what happens, we'll keep records of our farm. If they actually rise to do this, we'll have more records than we have last year. If more people join, we'll have more records than we have this year, than next year. If more people join, that's how it will be. And from that, we'll see that we'll be able to build a community where almost every farmers have data of their farm. And trust me, those data is not just there. It will be there to help them to collect grants. It will be there to help them to collect loans. It will be there to help them secure partnership. Many people today, they don't know why their farms don't grow. They don't know that like you can just use a simple solution by keeping data, and that data will go a long way for you in your farm. We have optimized resource and allocation, water, fertilizer, labor. We all know that like one major problem in farming is optimizing of resource or allocation of resource to different areas. But if you keep data, with data, you'll be able to allocate the right resource to the right channel. Let me say if you are using maybe 10 kg fertilizer every week, if you have a data and a records that shows that, okay, this 10 kg is the best you should be doing for this week, if you're actually keeping records of that, the next season, you will know that, okay, I'm allocating 10 kg to here. Okay, I'm allocating 1 kg to here. I'm allocating 10, 50 liters of water to this place. You'll be able to like allocate to every sector, every area immediately without wasting time. And you will get a lot of improvement. Your farm will be more efficient. Efficiency will be the rule game in your farm if you're actually keeping data. Then we have this an example again, which I cannot go over. Then we have improved profit end to end. Combine the above, reduce wasted inputs, sell at best price, and choose better inputs and all. You have example summary. If you reduce feed waste by 10% and increase selling price by 5%, your net profits can rise significantly. Shows the number for the farmer case by case. How farm data solve real agricultural problems. So let's look at common problems farmers face and the exact data step that fix them. So I will list each challenge and the data solution that was used. So you have problem, high feed cost without weight gain. So the problem this farmer is facing is high feed cost without weight gain. Let's say maybe before you're spending 10,000 on feed, now you're spending 15,000. And before you're spending 10,000 and maybe your beds per week, they have 1 kg gain. Now you're not spending 50,000 per week. They're not even having up to 1 kg gain. That's a problem. So we have data solution, track daily feeds versus weight gain per animal. Daily feed. That means how many times you feed them daily. Some people in a day, they might be feeding their birds. Maybe they might divide it into kg. or maybe into Moodle and all. It just depends on how you're doing it. So track daily feeding versus weight gain per animal. Compute feed conversion ratio. So step, record daily feed kg and weekly weights of sample animals. That's the animals you pick. Calculate feed conversion rate. That's the FCRO equals total feed kg divided by weight gain lower feed conversion rate equal. So what this calculation tells you is that lower feed conversion rate, that means that lower feed conversion rate means now, maybe before, maybe now you're spending, maybe now you're actually using 15 kg feed per week, and now you're spending, now you're not using more of maybe 12 kg feed per week, and your animals are gaining maybe 2 kg per week. That's the weight gain they're having. Then that's like lower feed conversion rates. I wish we had a lot of time we can be able to elongate or explain better, but these are calculations that we need you to sit down for me to explain. So this is an example of what I said here. So problem, repeated crop failure on a plot. This is a problem. Many people today, they face this problem, repeated crop failure. Maybe you plant corn, it failed this year, you plant the next season, it failed and all. So data solution, compare soil records, planting date, seed variety, fertilizer and rainfall for failed plots versus successful plots. So this is like a solution to it. So if you have data on soil records, you have data on planting dates, you have data on seed variety, you have data on fertilizer, you have data on rainfall for failed plots, that means you'll be able to solve this problem. If you have this data, you'll be able to solve this problem. You'll be able to know the reason why maybe corn is failing on this your plot, and the reason why corn is successful on the other plot. You'll be able to know. So steps, pull records for plots that failed and those that succeeded. Look for difference, late planting, less fertilizer, different feeds. With data, you'll be able to identify all this and solve the problem. So this is an example of that. So you have problem, low yield but high input cost. This is a problem. You're having low production. Like maybe before you're having maybe 50 kg of bag when you plant maybe corn. Now you're not having 40 kg, and the input cost is high. This is a problem. So data solution, calculate the cost of production per kg and profits per kg. Step, total all costs for the crop, seed, fertilizer, labor, irrigation. Step 2, divide by harvest to get cost, divide kg. Subtract from selling price to get profit per kg. This is an example. So problem, not qualifying for loan or buyers. One thing I will tell you, farm record does not only help you get loan, it also help you get, maybe now you want to plant, let's say for instance you want to plant in April and you don't have money, and maybe we're already in April and you need to plant maybe second week of April and we're in the first week of April. Trust me, if you have good records of your farm, you can go to a buyer, show them records of your farm, show them when you expect harvest and all, and you might be able to like get seeds for like, you might be able to get seeds on loan, not just only cash. You might be able to get seeds on loan, and at the ending of the day, tell the person, this is when I expect this seed to heed, this is when I expect this to heed, so give me so seed and I'll be able to pay you so time. With data, you're able to give a definite time to a buyer or a seller when you can pay them. So they said problem, not qualifying for loan or buyers. Data solution provides summarized records, expenses, outputs, received to demonstrate farm performance. If you can prove all these things, you'll be able to qualify for loan. If you can prove your farm performance, if you can prove that your farm can make you 10 million yearly, you can be able to maybe qualify for a loan of 20 million if you can prove that. So step, keep monthly summary, income, expenses, profit, keep all those things, write them down, write what you spend. If you spend 100,000 to like plant, to harvest, to irrigate everything, write it down. Keep records of everything. Keep records of everything. To produce a simple 2-page farm record to show to lender. If you can provide a 2-page history to show to lenders, trust me, you will qualify. And there are many people that want to build loan. I've spoken to many engineers. They want to build loan inclusion programs for farmers. But because farmers don't have records, they cannot actually build those systems. But if farmers have records, they can be able to build algorithms that will predict loan sustainability, that will predict loan repayment schedule for farmers, that will also help farmers it will help them get better loan offers from every corners. We have problems selling at poor price. Data solution, track historical price and use moving average to find the best selling window. Selling at poor price. This is a data solution to solve this problem. Step, record sale price each week for the crop over several seasons. 2, calculate 3 weeks moving average. Sell when price is above moving average. This is an example, weekly price. This is an example of that. So real success stories. Maize farmer, track rainfall plus planting dates. It increased by 20% simply by planting 1 week later. So this is a farmer, this is a story of a farmer that was able to track rainfall plus planting dates. Systems, we have systems, we have algorithm that can detect when rain will fall. You can connect to weather API. So this farmer was able to track rainfall plus planting dates, and he was able to reschedule his planting dates by 1 week. This helped him get better yield. Don't play. This thing works. Don't play. If you keep good records, there are a lot of things to show people, but no time. There are a lot of things. That's why if you come to us and maybe we're in the same community and group and in the same partnership, we can learn all these things together, because there are a lot of problems data solve in farm that a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans, our eyes are not open to. We have poultry farm, recorded daily feed intake, notice birds were eating less, detected disease 2 days earlier and saved the flock. Because this farmer was keeping record of the amount of feed he feeds his bird daily, he was able to notice that these birds are eating less. Maybe they were eating like 20 kg in 2 weeks. Now they're not eating just 10 kg in 2 weeks. He was able to notice that, okay, they're eating less. Why are they eating less? What is the problem? From his data, he was able to discover from his data, okay, from trying to say, okay, what is the problem? He was able to identify that, oh, maybe this certain disease is affecting my birds. Treat the disease, and before you know, all his birds came back to life and they were eating better. We have fish farmer, track feeding versus growth. Realize increasing feed do not increase weight. Save 80% on feed cost. This person was able to track the feed and realize that, okay, the more you don't feed this thing, it's not that they're increasing weight. So let me say, normally feeding them 9 kg will have given them 1 kg weight, but now you're not feeding them maybe 15 kg. That 15 kg does not make any difference, because it's just 1 kg weight they will gain. So if you cut down to 9 kg, you'll be saving 6 kg. And that 6 kg, you don't know, that 6 kg might maybe go for, that 6 kg feed might maybe be going for 2,000. But now you have been able to save 2,000 because you are tracking something. So data is very important, my people. Data is very important. Me, I'm a farmer, and I'm already building a system where I will involve data in my farm, because I'm still on the phase of development and all. So data is very important. Financial benefit of data. Farmers who keep records enjoy high profit margin. Every company that survives today, John D, that is one of the biggest agricultural institutes, and have solved a lot of problems in farm. Because they keep records, they're able to solve problems. Because they keep records, they're able to build autonomous tractor, they're able to build drones, they're able to have real system. And trust me, in the world, if you even check their stock, they are big, like they have gone big, they have tractors and all. Keeping data increase a lot of things for we farmers. We have high profit margin, lower cost of production, less waste and few losses. You have less waste, you have fewer losses because you are able to make fast decisions, you're able to make decisions on time. We have better pricing strategy. We have access to financial support. That's getting loans, grants, partnership, better negotiation power. When you can just go to a seller of a granite seed or a seller of a corn seed and like tell them that these are my farm records, give me so seed, this planting date, I will not miss this date, I will pay you once I sell so time. With that, you can get better negotiation power, improve long-term planning. We have data is not stress, honestly. Data is not stress. Data is money, data is growth, data is control. Data is control. Mr. Roberts was telling us about how as a farmer, if you keep data, you can be there to advise other farmers. You can be there to like speak to other farmers. Trust me, if you keep proper data of your farm and your farm keep making higher and higher profits every day, increasing efficiency and productivity, more farmers will come to you. And because of the data you have, you can even sell it to them. You can give them for free. It's your decision. But keeping data is very important. It's not a stress. And we should all adopt it as farmers today. My final message to farmers, farmers will keep record earn more than those who find blindly. Trust me, I can prove this statement anywhere I go to in this world. If you think maybe as a farmer, you're earning 5 million without keeping record, trust me, you're losing another maybe 10 million because you're not keeping record. A farm that can make you 5 million without having proper record can make you 15 million with having a good and a standard record keeping facility or record keeping management. You keep proper record, you can actually achieve that as a farmer. You can achieve that as a farmer. With simple daily records, you can save money, increase yield, avoid losses, make confident decisions, and with your data, we can help you grow smarter, not hard. You don't need to, if you're investing 11 hours in your farm, with keeping proper data, we can shorten that time for you by maybe 20% or 30% or more. So together, let's farm for profit. Let's farm for the future. Let's farm to solve problems. If you keep data, there are a lot of problems we're facing in Nigeria in agricultural sector that if we're just keeping proper data, we'll solve those problems. And we'll be able to grow more for the society, feed the nation, feed Africa, feed the world. Let's forget about the banditry for now. If we're able to solve these data solutions, or if we're able to solve this data problem, when we're able to conquer all these other herdsmen affecting farmers and all, the whole game will come back to us as farmers. So benefit of using data, better decision, more profit, less waste, early problem detection, strong marketing position. Closing, farmers with record earn more. Your data is your power as a farmer. Your data is your power. Don't play with it. Your data is your power as a farmer. So we should make sure that we keep records of our farm. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Emmanuel, please, everybody, I need to see you react, please. Your reaction should come up, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Now, to actually summarize the session in clear terms, so Mr. Emmanuel actually passed the message to us that the core message is actually very, very simple. He said data is the difference between farming blindly and farming profitably, basically. So we've actually seen how keeping basic record can actually help farmers. So you can clearly know if they are truly, if you're truly making profits, if you are just working hard. That's just basically the bridge of that. You can reduce waste and all of that. You can detect diseases and all of that. You can actually choose better inputs based on evidence, not guesswork. So I think that's the major thing here. You're not basically guessing, you're actually doing it based on evidence. And that's what data is. Data don't lie. Data do not lie, actually. So you're able to actually sell at the right time, and you're able to sell at better prices, and you actually qualify for easily for you actually qualify easily for loans, grants, and reliable buyers. So what stood out is that data does not have to be actually complex. You can actually start with a pen and notebook, like he said. He said basic, WhatsApp, voice notes, voice text, and all of that, WhatsApp note, and all of that. Those basic things we do, those day-to-day activities we actually do, that simple ways you can actually keep records. Google Sheets, keeping Excel for people familiar with keeping, things like what they call it rows and columns. That's spreadsheets basically, and we can actually scale to farm management apps that has the capacity to grow. So we can actually do all of that. So we also saw practical examples of how data scientists turn farm records to real money. Data scientists are very, very crucial. They're a very crucial chain in when it comes to data world. They're very, very big. They deal with this whole thing you see, this whole artificial intelligence and all of that. They leverage machine learning for prediction of data and all of that. They do predicting yield, they detect diseases early, they cut feed and input costs, they identify profitable crops and breeds. They actually optimize a whole lot of things, say water, fertilizers, and all of that. So the takeaway is actually very, very clear. The takeaway from what Mr. Emmanuel said is very clear. Small daily records create big financial results. Data is not stress, actually. It is not extra work. It is control, it is clarity, and it is profit. So once again, thank you very, very much. A big thank you to you, Mr. Emmanuel, for breaking this down in a way farmers can actually comply. So our next step now is I'll be passing on the mic to Mr. Ola. Mr. Ola, please welcome on board. Please, I would like to see a reaction. Thank you very much again, Mr. Emmanuel. Please, everybody, please, I need to see you react, please. Thank you very much. Mr. Ola, please come on board. We'd like to hear from you.
Wow. All I can say is wow, because this is this is a lot. And if you're a farmer and you've been there from the start, you can tell that this is a lot for the things that you're doing. And I will start with this question that if you have a guarantee of being profitable in your farming next year, and then you are told to start planting or start doing the farming work now, are you going to do it or not? And your response to that question helps you to see the value of the things we are doing here this evening. Because I can tell you categorically, and I believe you also can attest, that if you don't have a guarantee of profitability in your business, you won't do it. Mr. Manuel, please stop sharing so I can share screen also. If you have a guarantee of profitability, then you are going to do it even better, with more commitment, with more enthusiasm, with more energy. In fact, you will gladly put your resources and time into making sure that that profit is guaranteed. And that is what this is about. Just the way we say that water is life, air is life, that is without those things we really cannot live. So also data is life to every business, and agriculture is not exempted. And I think I will start with the question that Mr. Peter asked the other time, that he thinks record keeping is behavioral because even those who manage farms and people find it difficult to keep up. And that is just the reality. And you can trace it back to why is it that every good thing seems to be very difficult to do. And for the fact that it's not easy to keep data is one of the reasons you have to find out what value does data really holds. And without going back on everything that everyone has said today, I just want to throw the challenge to you that if your farm generates any particular amount presently, I tell you categorically that when you start putting records in place, you have a good, a complete, a proper data that you can use to work on your farm. Whatever it is you are making now, you can multiply by 2, you can multiply by 5, and that's what you can get as a result. So, I really don't want to go back on what everyone has said. I think I should just tell you about what we do, and now we can actually be of help. Even though Mr. Manu already mentioned all of that explicitly, how smartly can actually help you to make use or take advantage of data in such a way that you no longer farm like everybody around you. You begin to farm like somebody who has the smart edge. Such that when you, in fact, when you have data, you become more like an oracle to every other person around you who refuse to engage data. Because when you tell them this is the time, when you tell them that this is the time you are planting, by the reason of the result you have gained in time past, everybody wants to plant when you are planting. When you are fumigating or vaccinating, every other person around you wants to do the same. Because they know that when you do it, the result is guaranteed. And this is what you also, this is position that you also want to have, the position you want to take, that you no longer spend on your fertilizers, you don't longer spend on the farm like a blind man. That is, if you are applying a single kg of fertilizer, you have a guarantee that yield that will come from that application will be worth more than what it costs you to apply that fertilizer. So that is, if you do irrigation on your farm, what you will gain as a result of that irrigation will be worth more what it costs you to do that irrigation in the first place. And that's the beauty of any business, that you can put little inside and then gain something huge at the end of the day. And so this is a problem that plagues the whole of Africa, actually, and not limited or restricted to farming, even every other business sectors. We have the problem of data. Imagine you wanting to farm, either you want to rear animals or you want to plant crops. And then you are trying to make your research or findings as to what best steps to take. And the only solution you are getting is the one provided by somebody in the US, is the one provided by somebody in the UK. As good as that is, we both know that those solutions, they are environment specific. And if that is true, it means that there is a limit to the application to our environment. And that's why it becomes important that you as a farmer, you as a business person, start keeping records. You start collecting your own data. Because when you do, you become one of the first set of people in Africa to start paying serious attention to data. And if you do so and you do it well enough, it only puts you in a place where you become an authority in the agricultural industry. And so by the time you tell people that a certain fertilizer is good for application during the dry season, they know it's an authority talking. And when you tell them there's a particular fertilizer you should not apply during rainy season, they know that you are speaking and data is the one speaking. And that's where you want to be. And for someone like Mr. Peter, who has up to, say, 7,000 people working with him or in his community, in his database, imagine what you can do with data. In Africa, or let's say in Nigeria, imagine that you have 7,000 farmers who are data inclined, who are data oriented, who knows what it means to have exponential results from every single step that you take in farming. In a period of 5, 10 years, we won't be telling the same story we are telling today as far as farm produce is concerned if we have 7,000 people who are doing farming or who are doing agriculture that is data backed. And so this is the reason we are coming out and we are calling on everybody involved that enough of guesswork in your business, enough of guesswork in your farming, in your agriculture. What if you can do it with precision? What if you can do it knowing fully well that I know what I'm doing? That is, if you are farming, if you are planting something this time of the year, it is not because everybody is farming it. It is because you know that by doing it in this season, data has shown you that you have maximum yield when it is time for harvest. And that's where we come to play. That's where we come to partner. That's where we bring our own solution. Smart Edge is a data consulting and data analytics company. And what we help you to do is to make sure that your data is not just a waste. That is, you don't just collect data for the sake of collecting data. We help you draw the insight from the data and help you know the next step you are supposed to be taking as far as that data is concerned. And if you have a community, imagine what data can help them do. That is, in fact, an interesting part is you stop working because you have to work. You start working knowing fully well the result that will come out of that work. That is, instead of you spending, say, 15 hours or 12 hours on the farm because you want to make sure your farm is doing well, what if your data tells you that all you have to do is to attend to this period, this period? Life becomes easy. In fact, by the reason of that, you can then do your farming and still do some other things that your heart desires. Right? And that's where it gets interesting. Because the beauty of any business, the beauty of any work you are doing is that at the end of the day, you still have the time, you still have the life, you still have the heirs to enjoy the profit from that business. I mean, what is the essence of the farming you do that the profit you are getting from there, you are using it to pay hospital bills? So these are some of the problems that data helps you to solve when you pay attention to what your data is telling you about your farm, right? So we, as a business consulting company, we help you to see how to solve this problem. And we go in different ways. That is, we have different services that we render. So the first of them is consulting and business intelligence services. All right. All right, I want to believe my screen is visible. So we have the consulting and business intelligence services, where we help you to see, where we help you to do market and business analytics. That is, you understand the behavior of your customers. You know, as much as you want to farm, as much as you want to do agriculture, if at the end of the day, you are planted, in fact, your yield is 10x of what you could have imagined, if after you bring it out, there is nobody to buy it, is as good as saying one has wasted effort. So we can help you understand what your customers are saying, what they want. So when you carry your farm produce to Onitsha market, when you carry it to Oshodi market, when you carry it to those places where you sell, we can help you understand why are they asking for this particular thing at this particular time of the year. Who are the people actually asking for this kind of thing? So those are the things we help you to do. Also help you to identify where do you have revenue growth opportunity. You see, during the time that the first two speakers were speaking, they were mentioning how you can get loan, how you can improve your sales and stuff like that. These are the things that we help you to do. And all of this from the data you are collecting. And you as a farmer, this is to tell you that the data you are collecting is not only just on the farm, because the data you get on the farm help you to know how to do your farming better, help you to know how to do your agriculture better. But the one you get from the market, that's the one that helps you know how profitable you can actually be at the end of the day. Because after you've taken your data from the farm, you have known how much it costs you to produce an egg. By the time you are selling it, this is where you collect the data that helps you to know if there is profit at the end of the day or not. And all of this, we help you to discover all from the data you collect. So reducing operational costs, that is what better way can I actually do this to make sure that I don't spend much and yet I can still get more. About improving your business outcome with data. Generally, both operational, both profits, both the cost of the business itself, we help you know, help you discover how to do it better in such a way that you can be at rest, knowing fully well that this is what is happening in your business and there is nothing to be afraid of. We can help you create dashboards, help you reports. That is, you don't just have data. Data in its own form, just as it is, does not make any sense until you bring them into dashboard, until you bring them to display to give you the insight that they hold. It's as good as not having anything at all. So, but when you have data and we help you analyze, we bring them into dashboard and we show them to you. You can see in plain sight what is happening in your business without you necessarily having to stress yourself over what they are saying. All right. Still on consulting and business intelligence services, we are also going into insight automation. That is, we can help you do something that automate your report. That is, you don't have to say it is the time of the month. Now we have to go and do analysis. We have to wait for 1 week before we get our results. No, you don't have to do that. We can help you set up everything that you have to do in such a way that if you need certain analysis, maybe every week, every month, it automatically can load up for you by the reason of the data that you have generated. And easily you can look at it and then know what you're supposed to do with your farm. How about decision support? That is, as you go on, whatever decision you start to make based on the data and the analysis you have done, we also guide you through and support you throughout the journey. That is, we don't just tell you plant in November and then we leave you and then we come back in June or July and say, did you get something? No. As soon as you are making that decision, you can get support all along to help you see through it that this decision you are making, have you made it? Now that you have made it, this is the next thing you are supposed to do. We'll work with you all along. That is, our partnership is not going to be seasonal. We're going to be with you all through the way that you decide to stay with us. So for strategy, recommendation for board level. So in a case where you want to get loan, you want to get funding, you are looking for people to invest in your business, and you cannot do that presentation alone because you need a data expert to speak to the part of your investors that make them tick, the part of them that make them want to listen, right? And all of that is part of what we do. We don't leave you, we don't hang you to dry. We stay with you all through the journey. So we also do corporate training and upskilling for someone who has a community of up to 7,000. Just imagine what we can do by training your people for all of them to be data driven, to be data oriented. And then what it then means is that in that community alone, you can have all that you need for you to have a successful business and all the skills required for everyone to keep going. And you can be rest assured that your business can be data backed and without fear of you making any mistakes. So we do, because of this training, we do boot camp from time to time. Either you're in agriculture, you're in any business, you're just looking for a job, you're just coming out of school, whatever level it is you're in. We organize data analytics boot camp from time to time where we help people to know, to learn how to use data to drive profit, to drive operational efficiency, to learn the best way to deal in their businesses. All right. So either it's in Excel, either it's in Power BI, either it's in Tableau, either in data storytelling, or you just want to know how your team members are doing. That is performance management and KPI structure. All of that we can help you put in place, and we train you how to do that also. And we also do that for people in management. So let's say you have a community or you have a set of people that you're working with, you are the business person, and you have your farmers working. You as a person, we also have a master class for you, so that when your data analyst or data professional comes and tell you that this is what is happening, we can help you understand it better by the reason of the training that we're going to organize for you. We have what we call the executive master class, where you as the executive of the business, there is a part of data that you are supposed to understand that helps you understand what your farm is saying. That is when they show you dashboard. You are not just seeing numbers, seeing colors, seeing charts. You understand what those charts are actually saying. All right. So for those who have schools, educational system, we partner with them and also help those schools to learn data analysis. We license out, we also give certification, we also do curriculum integration for all of them. So depending on where your category falls, either you are into any of these businesses or you know people who are in those businesses and they need a data partner, we are here to serve everybody and make sure everybody make good profit in their business. Now, the question is, who are the people that we actually serve? That is, if you're a small business, SMEs, small and medium businesses or enterprises, if you're into fintech, if you're into agriculture, if you are into e-commerce or logistics, educational institution. In fact, if you are doing business, either you're just starting out or you want to, at this point of your business, you want to incorporate digital aspect of it, then we are the right partner for you to reach out to. That's why we're calling on you to say, we are here not just for us, but for you to make sure that you do business with confidence. You do business with a knowing that I know what I'm doing, not just a guesswork. And most importantly, to give you an edge that others don't have. You profit better, you manage better, you become even more efficient. And this is why we are here, all to serve you, to make sure you do business with a difference. All right. So that is Smart Edge. Great people. Thank you so much for joining us. And I think that's it about Smart Edge. Now we'll go to the questions and answers. And if you have any further questions, please bring them up, and then we can wrap it up. today. So now we're going to move to the question and answers. And if you have any question that you have not asked, feel free to throw the question in now. So for the speakers who have spoken today, I will be reading out the questions. If there's anyone you have an input on, feel free to unmute your mic and let's speak to these things, and so that we can help our people clear their mind regarding the questions they have. All right, so Mr. Peter, yes, you lead Timaco Integrated Farm Services Limited. All right, that's good. We are here to learn. Okay, we work with about 7,000 farmers in our database. We want to go with you guys all the way. The word is about. All right. Okay, so this is interesting and is very good. In fact, the first thing I will say to you, Mr. Peter, is first off, did you fill the Google form by chance? Did you get to fill that form? Mr. Peter, if you're there, please unmute and respond. Am I still audible?
Yes, you're very much audible.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Peter is probably not here. Okay, so I just want to, I don't know, I want to confirm if we have his details in case it's not here, because we want to make sure we're able to reach out and then we're able to discuss this further. Yes, in fact, if you have been following us, if there's anyone here who has been following us on Instagram, the last 1 month we have done a series where we talked your business and data, where we basically, if you still check our page, you still see some of those. In fact, you still see all the videos on the page there where we talk about those things that you need to know about data for your business to do exceptionally well, right? And for you who has a community of up to 7,000 farmers, just imagine how happy everybody will become when they know the right thing to do in their business just because they know what the data is saying. All right, so please, let's look that up. I've also dropped a link to our Instagram page in the chat box. So if you are here and you have not followed us, kindly do so. It will be helpful to everybody at the end of the day, because what we are sharing here is value packed every day, every week, every time. There is always value going out to people just to make sure that your business is doing well, just to make sure that you are making profit in your business. And all of this information, they have been going out all for free without a dime. All right. So let's get to that. So once Mr. Peter is back, I'd like you to unmute and then we talk about it. Okay, he's saying that I have realized over time. Okay, you are back. So I was asking if you were able to fill the Google form that we sent out with this link.
All right, thank you very much. I have not seen the Google form,
Okay.
but I will make effort to track it up. Perhaps if you can probably post it out where I can visibly see it, I will appreciate that. Okay, fantastic. So I will make effort. So should I also encourage my team members to fill it, or is for me alone?
Yes, please encourage everybody to fill it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Also, information that will be going out to the emails that we collect from there. And those things, they are going to be value packed. You are going to receive them, and they are going to be, sometimes they are going to be the next thing you are waiting for to make the next decision in your business. So it's very important. Encourage them, please.
Thank you very much.
All right. So yes, as I was saying, if you are not following us on Instagram already, kindly do so. It's very important. We have been doing some amazing stuff on that platform, and every week information has been going out, all of which has been helpful to every. In fact, if you own any form of business, it does not matter if your business is as big as Google or it's still at the ideation level. As long as you have business or you know somebody who has business, you should be following Smart Edge on Instagram because information is always going out there for interesting things that are happening. All right. Okay, so I'm on this question. I've realized over time that record keeping is behavioral or attitudinal. Even those who manage small team of farmers are struggling with the attitude of keeping records. My question is, how can we support farmers or people we work with to take record keeping seriously? And what kind of tools do we need to empower them with? Okay, so first off, I would say if it's in an establishment, either farm, any business at all, whichever way you are working, anywhere you are working, if you have more than 2-3 people working there, so first thing to do is to make sure that for every day there is somebody that is appointed to handle the data. Because if it's only one person and that person is the person taking care of many other things, it might be difficult. And like you said, it's behavioral. The person might feel like, okay, it's 5 chicken today. Okay, I'll record them when I get back to the office, or I'll record them once I'm done feeding. And by the time the guy is done feeding, he has forgotten what he's supposed to say. So dedicate for time. If you have to create a roster, if you have to schedule time for them or work pattern for them, so that there will be somebody who man the record keeping. So as this person is feeding, the other person is going around to check how many crates of eggs, how many chicken do we have on the farm, how many bag of feed do we have left, and stuff like that. So let there be somebody, and then let there be encouragement for them to actually do that. That is, you have to let them know the value it holds, why they need to really keep records. That's very important, because just the way we used to say that if the use of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. I also want to tell you that when the essence of thing is not known, it will not carry any value, because they don't know what it costs, they don't know the use of it, and because of that, it will just be a waste. It will be trampled, and you don't want that to happen, right? So as for the tools, there are a lot of tools, like they mentioned during the time they were speaking, the other two speakers. You can actually you can start with your pen and paper depending on the level you're in. So if you're at the very minimum level, and those people don't have phones, they don't have Android or iPhones, they don't have that advanced gadgets, then they can start with their pen and paper. Let them just write it. Number of fowls, number of feet, number of eggs, all of those things. Let them write it down and follow it up like that. Let them keep writing. So for those who have phones or laptop or system, who have advanced system, of course, they can start with Google Sheets or Excel Sheets. That is easy to download from either App Store, any store at all on the phone. Just the way you download any other app, you can download them and you can start keeping your record. And if you need a training on that, we have a bootcamp coming up where we are going to train people how to do that. And if you also need a particular training specific for your team, we are very much available. All you have to do is to reach out and we'll set it up and make sure everybody know what to do when it comes to record keeping. All right. So before going on with that, Mr. Manuel, you raise your hand. You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to answer that question too. He was talking about the seriousness of people not doing it genetically. So me, what I wanted to add is there is what we call data literacy. So a lot of people they're not literate in data. So We can also offer a data literacy section with them where we teach them the importance of data, because many people don't take data serious today because they don't know the importance, which Mr. David have said. So we can enlighten them, show them the importance, and know that, and make them understand that this is actually tied to your job, because if you do this well, there will be a lot of profit and a lot of enhancements in the business. So this is actually necessary and must be done. If they can be enlightened and someone is there to manage everything, or an automated section is built on it, then it will really work. That's what I have to say.
All right, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. So if your team is data oriented, if they are data literate, it becomes easy. You just have to reinforce what you have been telling them before, tell them to take it more seriously. And in a case where they have not been doing that before, where they are not specifically data literate, we are very much on ground to help you train them. We have short courses, a month long, depending on the level they are in, and we can take them even if you want extensive training. All of that is available. And so if they are data literate already, you just have to show them essence, that is why they need to keep it, and then they will be able to do something. Because for every business that will grow, they will need to pay attention to data. All right. I think there was another question. Okay, if you still have your question, please let it keep coming. Oh, that's the only question we have there. Interesting. All right, all right. So that's the only question we have. Does anybody in the audience still have any question for us? Do you have any question? All right, if there are no, okay.
Okay, so if there is a question, then please feel free to put that out now. Otherwise, let me just continue what I have to say.
All right.
Okay, so one thing, I think there is no question. So one thing I would actually specifically like us to do is a feedback. I would really like every one of you to actually give feedback, particularly from what do you think you've learned? What do you think? What's the highlight of the day? What's the best part of the day and all of that? I would really appreciate if you can actually come up with that. Is unmute your mic, feel free to actually say something about the whole session and whatever you're not clear about, and if whatever contribution, whatever takeaways whatever you've actually learned and all of that, please feel free. Whatever feels big to you, please feel free, unmute your mic and say something.
All right, let's do this quickly. Or do we have to call you by name? Okay, Mr. Peter, how's today been? Have you learned anything? Does it make sense what we are doing? What's your feedback?
All right, so thank you very much. I must say that a lot of knowledge, valuable knowledge, has actually passed, and the mode of facilitation made the interaction very, very flexible. For instance, you made a lot of emphasis, the first presenter made a lot of emphasis on data, the usefulness of data, and how it can actually help improve farm management. And I take that presentation to be very, very strategic. And also the second presentation, I take that to be very, very strategic to a need that we're dealing with, especially among my team members. For instance, this year, I think during the rainy season, we procured, we tried an approach. So we procured 100 seed goats from the farm, from the open farm. And we just wanted to try out procuring goat seedlings from the open farm. We spent about 4 million to procure the goats, and we also spent about $1 million plus, to do, medication, logistics, and other things. You will not believe that we lost all the goats. All of them, 100 goats died. We just wake up in view of the fact that, yes, we tried to do a medication too. Yeah. So the emphasis now is that, and I keep telling my team, is not about the fact that, we ventured into a mold and it didn't work for us. We have to explore other ways of getting these things to work. But where is the data that we need to study? So what happened? What did we not do well? Where did we miss it? All of that falls back to the fact that we lost a valuable part of our investment, but we can't afford to lose that data, which is going to help us and redirect us to make, important decisions. So I find this training very strategic and coming at the point where, we're trying to make a learning curve in, setting up our good farms. And so thank you very much to Smart Edge Consulting. I believe that much more information is on the way, and we will also do well to always avail ourselves to benefit from, this kind of engagement that puts a lot of information in our hands on how we can stabilize our investments, expand and optimize profit, and of course have a very strong balanced footing within the agricultural ecosystem in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Peter. And in fact, that's one interesting thing about data, because it always has a way of speaking for itself, either its presence or its absence. Because if the data before you took that step you took, there is a probability that you're going to avoid that loss of resources, right? And now that it has happened, I hope you have a record of the steps you took to get to that level. And moving forward, the steps that you have to take to make sure something does not repeat. So thank you so much for that. All right. Mr. Samuel or Miss Samuel, I can see from here. Any feedback, something for us? All right, Sadler Samzi, let's have you. Sonia, are you with us? All right, Mr. Abdurrahman, over to you.
Okay, so I think in absence of more contributions and all of that, please, one thing I would urge you to do is follow us on all platforms available. I think we're available on Facebook, we're available on LinkedIn, we're also available on Instagram. So feel free to actually follow us, because a lot more is going to unfold, especially this in the very, very coming. We have a lot of ongoing projects, a lot of things you'd actually benefit from in Smart Edge. A whole lot of things has been said today, and across all the sessions, there is one truth that keeps repeating, and it's the fact that farm data and data in general turns effort into profit. So we've seen the record keeping. We've seen that record keeping is not. It's not about paperwork. It's not. It's not just the technology or all of that. It's about knowing the. It's about knowing your true cost. It's about reducing waste. It's about catching problems early, and it's about making decisions with confidence. And we've also learned that farmers, business owners, you don't need advanced tools to start. Honestly, this does not. It's not. It's not some sort of gimmicks. It's not some sort of or this is just another scheme. It's really not a big deal. It's not really something hard to actually start. You can do this across all different kind of levels in life. Like even if when it comes to your personal growth, like when it comes to tax, daily tax, financial um decisions and all of that. It doesn't even necessarily has to be your business. Your personal life, you can actually keep track of the things you do day to day. Take for example, say you have this tax to do, you want probably a student or you parent, or you have things to do like personal tax, hobbies, or personal development to do. Or I read today, I did not read today. You can actually keep track of data, and keeping track of data is actually very, very good, actually. Consistency, no complexity, all of that. And I would actually drop this one takeaway from today is start small, honestly. You might think, oh, it's not really a big deal, this, that, but just start small, honestly. It's really not a big deal. Reach out to us and would actually push you through. And as for reaching out to us, it's very simple. Smartest Consulting, just type it out, whatever. You'd actually get you to reach us out anywhere. You record daily, you review regularly, and you improve deliberately. That's what literally data is. And this is exactly what today's session is about. It's about data consultation and all of that. So actually helping farmers to move from listening to actually applying what you've actually learned based on your own farm records and numbers. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our partners. Thank you to sponsors and everybody involved and every farmer who had joined us today. You made this possible. Without you, definitely would have not continued. It's just going to be the team. But thank you very much for showing up. Wherever we have impacted you, thank you very much to Smart Edge. Thank you very much, Mr. Ola. To the speakers, thank you very, very much. And let's move from guessing to growing. It's about moving from guessing to growing. This is clarity. And from making, farming hard or whatever business hard to farming for profit. You can integrate data in your day-to-day life. Like I said, you can do it everywhere and you can do it wherever. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And do have a nice evening.
All right. Thank you so much. And do have a great evening, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. So if you have not filled the form, you have not just followed us, please make sure you do that immediately. Click the link, follow the link, fill the forms, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend.